Hello, Sarah and Kevin down here at Market Wines. We're on the countdown now to Christmas, and we've got some pretty fun wines open for the weekend.
I'm pretty stoked about these. This is new stuff from an old winery. So we know Marietta really well, and if you've shopped with us, you already know one of these wines probably very well because it's been probably our best-selling wine over the past decade or so. It's
at least
always super popular. But there's a couple of new ones from Marietta, so this can be fun. In fact, one of them I've never had before.
Me too.
Because it's brand spanking new, so let's change that.
First time we've had this Riesling. Actually, I don't recall having a white from Marietta ever.
No.
This is the first white wine released from them.
And Riesling from California, when's the last time you even had one of those? Because
It's been a long time.
You know, it used to be a thing. I remember in the early 90s working in the wine business, and Riesling from California was actually pretty popular. It was a grape variety that people still planted. It was really popular. People were still getting out of that sweet wine thing from the 80s, you know. I still had a little peace porter on the brain, a little Liepelmilch sort of hangovers, right? So Riesling was super popular, and it's virtually disappeared. You know, most wine shops I don't even think would have a Riesling from California.
It's true. See more from Washington or maybe Oregon or New York, but not California. So this is super unique.
And usually planted in cheaper places, right? So you're not going to see Riesling from Sonoma that often.
Right. Exactly. And this is $24.95, so great value.
It's a good deal.
Especially for American wine these days, as we know, with our dollar and whatnot, it seems to be going up and up, but these are still relatively good value wines.
That's dry.
Bone dry.
I expected that to be sweet.
It smells like it's going to have some sweetness because it's got those really ripe, almost tropical fruits.
That's really nice and crisp and fresh. That could be maybe a good turkey wine, Sarah.
Ah, perfect.
What do you think?
Turkey's on the menu in a couple weeks.
Get that on the table, a little ham, a little turkey.
Absolutely.
Wow, that smells really good. That reminds me of it's got more Mosel kind of smells, but then a really kind of dry finish to it. It's got that really kind of crisp lemony thing going on.
I think a lot of people will be surprised by this wine because it doesn't give you that sweetness that you expect, and it is dry. It's always fun to taste Rieslings with people that hate them, but change their mind.
Everybody thinks they hate Riesling, but very few people actually do. Because when you finally get it in your mouth and you get over the idea that you don't like Riesling, it turns out you probably do like it. It's just when you pour sweet wine for people, and they always say I don't usually like sweet wine, but I like this one.
Yeah.
Because it's good.
Yeah.
Right?
It's
that whole stigma with sweet wine. So old vines on all three of these.
Yeah.
Talk about that a little bit. I imagine there isn't a lot of new Riesling getting planted, so if you're drinking Riesling from California, it probably is old vines, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and to come in at that price point as well, because typically older vines you'll have lower yields.
Yep.
So you're not getting as much juice from the grapes, so typically that pushes the price point up and up.
For sure.
But these are still all under $25, so.
That's amazing. Even just getting wines from California under 25, and this is a family winery, right? There's a little story here.
Yeah, so it's named. It's from the Bilbro family.
Right.
Scott Bilbro is the father, and now his sons are at the helm. But they named it after their aunt, Marietta. And she was. It's an Italian family, right?
Yep,
And
absolutely.
they settled in the valley in the early 1900s.
Which is pretty cool because it was their grandfather, right? That planted these vineyards. So the family now, the third generation of winemakers is actually making wine from grapes that their grandfather planted upwards of 100 years ago. In fact, I know with the Rosé, which I think is based on Syrah.
Yep.
The Syrah and Grenache, they say is some of the oldest in that Geyserville area. So it's pretty cool when you get to drink super old vines, really interesting grape varieties, and you still get to keep it under $25. That's a win-win-win, Sarah.
That's a triple win.
So let's talk rosé.
I love this rosé. We got it for the first time in this spring.
Sold out so fast.
It sold out so fast. It was 2 weeks tops. And I don't think it's going to last long this time either, especially with the holidays around the corner. Because again, it's another, I think, perfect turkey, ham wine. I guess so much like watermelon. It just reminds me of summer, which
Crazy, right?
is great on a day like today.
Even though it snowed 3 inches in the time we've started talking here, I feel a little summery with this one because it has that crazy real fresh cut watermelon thing going on, and it's dry too.
Yep, totally
I thought the
dry.
last one was a little sweeter than this one. Am I making that up?
It had some nice more fruit forward tones to it.
Yeah. This is really kind of crisp though. This reminds me more like a Provence rosé almost, but with a little more.
It's quite pale and delicate.
A little more ripe fruit to it. That's dynamite. I can get behind that.
And then this bad boy.
This old fella, we almost forget about this because it's just, I guess I feel like everybody who shops here knows this wine so well, right? Because it's just been a staple for so long. And it's just been such a good deal, right? Like, I mean, it's on lot 69. And I think the first lot we got was like lot 16. And there's 2 a year that come out. So
I'm trying to
shows
remember
you
what
how
lot it
old
was
I
when
am.
I started. I think it was 20, maybe?
In the 20s, yeah?
Yeah.
There you go. You've been around a while,
I've been
Sarah.
around a little while.
You're not as young as you used to
I'm
be.
an old vine.
Well, this smells really good. What I always love about this wine is how like, generous it is, right? Like it always comes out and just gives you like a big hug of that big ripe fruit. It's super juicy. It never like, it's never like austere or laid back. It's like always delicious.
It's well balanced. It's dry, it's flinty and minerally and peppery, but then like you say, it's loaded with those like really ripe dark fruit notes.
Yeah.
Perfect for the winter. You can drink it on its own. I haven't met anyone yet that doesn't like this wine, and
Oh.
being a bestseller on our shelves for several decades is something to say.
Yeah, it's incredible, right? How much wine of this we've sold over the years. So it's based on Zinfandel,
Yep.
really old vines, up to 100-year-old vines. And then they've just blended in all these other grape varieties because when the Italians first came over, they just brought all kinds of cuttings with them, right? They didn't know what was going to grow well in California. And
Cool.
of course, everything grows really well in California. So everything they planted thrived. So they ended up with these vineyards where they had just planted, 7 or 8 or 9 different grape varieties, and they just kind of throw it all together into this one, and it works really well. You got things like Alicante, you got Petit Syrah, you got Gamay, you got all these grape
Cool.
varieties, and they all, it kind of reads like Zinfandel, but the complexity of those other grapes kind of comes out a bit.
Yeah,
just
adds
adds a
another
little
layer.
more interest to it, right?
Totally.
Maybe a little more acidity, maybe a little more freshness, and definitely like some really cool spicy notes.
What would you pair with this one?
A day like today,
A snowy
3
day.
inches of snow.
Yeah.
How's that?
Perfect.
I like, like a roasted pork loin, something like that. That always screams Zinfandel to me. Anything. I think this wine used to be a little sweeter in the old days,
Yeah.
And now they've really dried it up a lot. Like it's not got that kind of apothecary thing going on where it's like really sweet. It's got those big, bright flavors, but it's actually quite dry. So
I agree.
I think people are sometimes scared with the blends from California that they're going to be those super sweet wines, but not in this case. This is like straight up just well-made wine.
Yep, absolutely.
So all these guys are $25?
$25.
It's easy to remember.
Yep. Come taste them this weekend. We've got them open. And what do we got hiding
What's
under?
under the hat, Sarah?
What's
You got
hiding
a little,
there?
little something under the hat? Tell me about these guys.
So we brought these in this year. This is from Corksicle, which is an awesome, really well-made glassware company or cupware company, I guess. So this is for flutes. I thought they were awesome for
These are fun.
the holidays, for New Year's. They keep your glass cold.
Super festive.
Super festive. They're sparkly. They're beautiful and perfect for the wine lover or bubbly lover in your life.
Little stocking stuffer.
Yeah, great little stocking stuffer.
So come on down this weekend, taste the Marietta wines, and get yourself a Corksicle glass.
Thanks.